We are live out here at Coley's Waterfront Pub and Grill and on Pewaukee Lake. And we were up in Wausau the other day, and about a week ago we were down at Milwaukee Brewing. So we've been all over, but so much for traveling around now back in the home area, if you will. And we certainly appreciate you joining us here. And today, going back to the special guest that I've been talking about, our good buddy Chuck Freeman. How you been, Frames?
Bill, it has been about a year. I was just talking to my girlfriend Shannon today. I said, I haven't seen Bill in a year. It was you, I, and some other friends. We were out in the bar the first weekend of March.
Right.
Without the masks.
I know, right?
And then a couple of days later, sports were called off, and that was that. You remember that was Saturday night?
Right. Yeah, it was a Saturday night. We went to your place out here, Q Club, Wisconsin.
Yes.
Yeah, we were out there for a band, and we saw that, and since then it's just been chaos ever since. When I talk about a different world, what have you been up to, man?
Well, I'm just I still cover the Bucks and Brewers and Packers for AP radio, but a lot of the stuff today we don't have to go to the game. We just do it at home, so I'm doing it right from my home. I'm doing work on 97.3 The Game.
Right. I'm
filling in and doing some work there from time to time. Did the Packer pregame show the other day, so just filling in where they need me. And it's been about a year now since you and I were at the same. I was let go in April 2nd at 10:02 in the morning, and right to the time, I remember right to the exact moment, because they sent me an email at 7:30 in the morning, basically telling me, "Hey, after your show today, you're going to get fired." So I had to go 2.5 hours.
Yeah, that to look forward to.
Yeah,
well, there you have it.
We got to talk after the show at 10:02. Meanwhile, at 5 a.m., a company-wide email came out that they're going to cut a bunch of people. Ironically, I happen to be one of those guys. So I put two and two together.
Yourself at the time, our good friend Billy Schmidt was another one off the air.
I'm working with Billy over at 97. Yeah,
Billy's a good cat too.
A good kid. He and I make a nice little pair over there.
So I got to ask your reaction. So the NFC Championship game did not go the way a lot of us were hoping it would go. Obviously, they got physically beat up by a good defensive front. Pierre-Paul just was another man among boys. And then obviously the comments of Aaron Rodgers after the fact. So give me your first of all, did you break anything in your house watching the NFC Championship
No, because
game?
we were in a bar. And that's the thing is, if you're going to a bar and watch the game, you got to behave yourself. So I got my hands right down here. I'm eating and enjoying it and not enjoying the outcome. But it's funny. I liked the Packers all week. And then we were driving to the bar, and I told Shannon, I said, I think Tampa Bay is going to win this game. And that's easy to say now, but I just had this feeling, saw the line move toward Tampa, and I liked Green Bay so much that Tampa was going to win the game. And, as soon as they got that quick score, 7-0, I thought, okay, game on.
The 7-0 didn't bother me because we'd seen that with this team throughout the season where they gave up that initial score and then they came back and then they always had a way of figuring it out. But the one thing, and I keep forgetting this, and I got to tell myself this every year, when you start buying into the fact that they're winning games and they're beating decent teams, and then they beat Tennessee, and you thought, okay, this team's off and running now. Now they've got it going on. But every time I forget, when you get a team that basically out-physicals you in the regular season, you don't get more physical by the end of the season. It's not like unless all of a sudden you get a bunch of people healthy again. And I keep forgetting that. And that's why I thought to myself, had the Packers not turned the ball over twice, had Aaron Jones not coughed it up on that big hit, had Shannon Sullivan actually pulled in that interception, had Equanimeous saying, there's like 5 plays in that game that you can look to and say, had they changed, the outcome might have been different. But I always go back to, you're going to be in a real dogfight when a team beats you earlier in the season. And we saw that last year with San Francisco, and we saw it again on Sunday with the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers makes the comments after the game about, uncertain with his future. And then he goes on, and he didn't really double down, in my opinion, but he talks about the people that want to make something out of nothing over on the podcast yesterday or 2 days ago, I think it was. And I said all along, Aaron Rodgers isn't going anywhere. Not at least this season. But I think would you take, if you're the Packers, would you renegotiate his deal, pay him a higher base salary, make it cap friendly for the next couple of years for this team, and keep him around for 4 more years?
Sure. He's making as much money as Jared Goff, who's maybe the worst quarterback in NFL history. Yes, he's terrible. Yeah, that was the game week before against the Rams. That was easy, but you look at the guys. He's right there. He's the MVP. He's bounced back after last year. He's him and Brady and Mahomes. Those are the 3 great quarterbacks in the league right now. And Pay him what if I was him and I was, somebody could say, well, he's making 20, 21, 23 million already. Well, that's not the point. You deserve to be paired with the best quarterbacks in the league. He
does. But when you look at, and I've said this before, when you look at a guy that makes a majority of the money as a quarterback, there's not many quarterbacks that get a ton of money and then go and win Super Bowls. Usually it's you get it on your rookie deal and then you win the Super Bowl and then you get paid.
Russell
Wilson. You look at a guy like Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco was on a cheaper deal, became a really good downfield passer, wins the Super Bowl, gets all the money, never gets back. Eli Manning, he got paid a ton his second time, never got back. We look at a lot of Super Bowl winners like that. And then you see Peyton Manning. It wasn't until he went to Denver to take the pay cut, and he wasn't making a ton of money in Indianapolis when he ended up winning the Super Bowl. Tom Brady, for years, was underpaid in New England, and then finally he goes to Tampa Bay and makes a little bit more money, but he didn't break the bank because he knew he wanted to win a championship there and prove that he could without Bill Belichick.
Well, if it's going to cause salary cap issues, and he could do what Tom Brady has done and say, well, this is the amount I'm going to play for, and if you're going to help use that money and get me other weapons, I'm fine with that. That's what Brady did in New England, and it worked for the longest time, like you're mentioning there. But I don't know what Rodgers is thinking. But he's not getting traded. I mean, at least at this offseason.
He's not getting traded.
No, I thought drafting a quarterback last April was dumb. And he's coming back. He's the best. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I'm not gonna say he's the best, but he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He's in that top three, and they have a chance at going back to the Super Bowl next year again. I mean, he's lost 4 NFC championship games in a row. No, but I'm not going to put this one. I'm not going to put this game. I thought he played better than Brady this past Sunday.
I did too.
Didn't you?
I thought he played better than Brady. I thought Brady threw picks. Brady had some bad decisions. Brady went down with like a slap on the back. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, if you want to criticize Rodgers, you can say, okay, look, 3 straight times that Davante Adams into the end zone. You kind of forced that. You had Alan Lazard cutting across the middle. You could have hit him. Okay. You could have run it in for the touchdown, or you could have at least gotten close to the goal line, and that way it would have been 4th and 2 rather than a 4th and 8, and then they wouldn't be kicking field goals. Okay, so maybe in that sense. But I thought Rodgers outplayed him. I thought Rodgers played a hell of a game. And his quarterback rating, obviously people don't want to look at that, but in other scenarios in which he'd had postseason big NFC championship games, he wasn't nearly as good. I thought he was really crisp and good in this contest.
I did. The out pattern to Davante when he had the single coverage, late in that game, they've run that play 1,000 times, and they've probably run it 3,000 times this past week in practice, and that's a play that they execute. He didn't do it there. I still thought Davante should have made the play on that one. But, he's been so good. But, 2 plays turn that game around. Tampa decides to go for it on a 4th and 3 at midfield, and you're thinking, what are they doing? And Brady hits the touchdown. And that's not on Rodgers. That's on Mike Pettin.
Did you like the call? Because to me, it's kind of like when Bostic and you got Sean Slocum on the sideline screaming at him, going, don't go for the ball before it's even kicked. And you got to believe that Pettin and company have told – Kevin King and all the secondary guys, hey, end of a quarter, end of a half, nobody gets behind you.
Yeah, well, it sounds like the scheme is bad because, what I understand in that is you're supposed to play the sidelines there, push everybody in to the middle and make them complete a pass to the middle of the field with time run out. Yeah,
it was a terrible call because Kevin King the entire time is running down watching Brady, and then he let the receiver get 3, 5, 6 yards behind him. And he had a ton of room to catch the ball. As a matter of fact, the jump was poorly timed. Look, as much as I want to look at it and go, Pettin sucks, because that's what everybody seems to say, I blame it more on Kevin King. Well, he had a terrible game.
He did. I know. I had the first half under in that. It was at 20. It was 24 and a half. It was at 24. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to win this first half.
And then Kevin King gave it up.
And then Kevin King gives it up. But, he did. He played a poor game. He did. And then Jones – early third quarter, their first possession. Those things happen, but he coughs it up and they put it in. So far, then the game goes from 4 to 11 to 18, and then you're playing chase game the rest of the game.
We're broadcasting today live at Curly's Waterfront Pub and Grill. We're out here in Pewaukee. It overlooks beautiful Pewaukee Lake. We are brought to you by our friends at Bud Light and taking a look around Curly's Waterfront Pub and Grill. Love this place. Been coming out here a long, long time. As a matter of fact, on Friday nights after football games out of Pewaukee or wherever it happens to be. Now, normally the lake is not frozen over in the summertime. It's beautiful out here. But coming into this place and enjoying yourself, and as you can see, it's got a great atmosphere, kind of that log cabin style of feeling. big screen TVs all over the place, and seating, and Friday night fish fries out here are great. Their pizzas obviously are really, really good. They've got really good wings, as you see there. That's their nachos and loaded nachos, but there's their fish fry. And then they've got the thing called the pig porker, and that's it, a giant sandwich, massive sandwich that they're pretty proud of out here. So plenty of reasons to come out to Curly's Waterfront Pub and Grill and hang out here with us on the waterfront. Yeah, Chuck.
Yeah, if you're going to have a fish fry on the lake, it better be good. I mean, who has a bad fish fry on a lake?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, so the fish fry here is going to be good, and the food. Yeah, they've been around here forever, doing outstanding things. But I mean, what a great view! I mean, other than the lake, even when the lake is frozen over, it's just such a cozy place to be, especially in the wintertime, because it's got that log cabin feeling,
right,
as you said.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So anyway, long story short, if you want to come on out and say hello to us, please go ahead and do so. Chuck Freeman's here. I'm Bill Michaels. And if you want to get a hold of us, plenty of ways to do so. You can also hit us up. The email right there, go to thebillmichaels@gmail.com. That's thebillmichaels@gmail.com. If they want to get a hold of you, what do they do?
Well, you can go to my Twitter account, Chuck Freeman.
On Twitter?
FREIMUND. That's the best way to get a hold of me. I do the 60 seconds with Freems every day. You know, that's the one daily thing I do.
There's how to spell it right there on the screen. So
yeah, there
if
you
you're
go.
watching the screen, just make a note of that.
So that's where I've been. I mean, that's if you want to get a hold of me, Twitter seems like followers are falling off these days at Twitter because everybody's leaving Twitter.
There's a lot of people leaving Twitter. There's the one thing I've noticed. Have you noticed that it's like I would do certain things, get a ton of followers, and the next day you'd lose 10?
It says account suspended.
It's just weird. I don't know what they're throttling for whatever reason. But anyway, you can find this program. By the way, you can follow me over on and subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can subscribe over there. Just find me at Bill Michaels and subscribe. Click like or subscribe and follow it there. Here on Facebook, you can find us as well. Just look for the blue check mark, The Bill Michaels Show. And I appreciate it if you follow there. And if you also like that page, there's also Twitch. I have 4 followers on Twitch. So Twitch has just started to climb into it.
I haven't gone into that area yet.
Twitch is out there. There's Twitter. There's Periscope. So all those different ways.
Well, here's the problem. We don't have any commercials.
There's no commercials.
So what are we going to do about eating? Because we usually eat. Because when we've done these in the past,
you can eat
commercials. Commercials. So what happens?
That's all right.
Look for this next hour.
I'll talk while you take a bite and take a drink. That's okay. That's what this is all about. Hey, would you bring Mike Pettin back?
Yeah, I thought he had a good year. I mean, it ended poorly for him, but I mean, I thought the defense. But I thought the Packers at the end of the season, from Thanksgiving on, I thought they were the best team in the NFL. I really did. I thought they were playing better than Kansas City. I thought they were playing better than Tampa. I just really loved the way they were playing, and a lot of it was the defense. I thought all 11 guys in that defense, they were playing well. They were stopping the run. I thought the secondary was real good. And then came Sunday. But Charles Barkley said this. He has said this many times, but he said this on TNT. The playoffs really show your flaws. It shows where you need to improve on, because you can beat the bad teams. You can crush them, and which Packers are very good at doing. You saw toward the end, the Bears and Tennessee wasn't very good up there, and they beat. You could sleepwalk through some of those bad teams. But the championship level teams will show you where you got to get better at. And maybe I think with Tampa, that's what Tampa did.
Yeah, I look at Tampa Bay. Go ahead and munch while we do this, because I'm going to get a couple of people. By the way, if you want to get a hold of us, you want to do social media, you can, because you can. We can see it right here as far as King should sign with Hardee's rather than anywhere else, and talking about selling fast food. Greg says, who else do you think from the coaching staff should be let go? That would be a Mike Pettin question. And look, I don't know. I mean, I know that Pettin doesn't have a contract. So Pettin, at the end of the season, his contract expired. He chose not to sign an extension at the beginning of last season, thus making him kind of the one-year wonder on the staff. And we'll see if he actually – maybe it's him. Maybe he just is look, maybe I don't want to come back to this. Well,
plus, Bill, he's not LaFleur's guy. LaFleur inherited him.
Right.
So,
which was good, because he was a former head coach, so LaFleur had somebody to lean on inside that room.
But I always think when a head coach comes in, he wants to eventually bring his own guys in, don't they?
Right.
I mean, you want to feel the guy, you want to feel comfortable with the guy, and maybe he's worked that up with Pettin. I don't know, but most of the time, you see when a head coach comes in, he's clearing out the previous staff, not keeping anybody, but they strongly encourage them to hire Pettin. Maybe LaFleur has earned enough in that organization to say, hey, go to Murphy, whoever's
right.
calling the shots these days, we don't know. Hey, I want to make a coaching change. You'll give that.
Right. Yeah. And Murphy was probably a guy that said at the onset, why don't we keep the defensive coordinator? I mean, go ahead and interview him, but this is a guy that you can lean upon that's got head coaching experience coming out of Cleveland. And he had I'm not going to say a great run at Cleveland, but he got Cleveland to what was it, 500 or close to 500?
Yeah, which is like going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, in Cleveland. Yeah. Well, now they're better, but regardless, I mean, he had a pretty successful run there. So maybe that's the reason they said, hey, let's go ahead and try to hang on to him, at least for the time being. So maybe they do find somebody else. The other question regarding the Packers. Now, obviously, there's a big long list of free agents. There's Lindsley, Aaron Jones, Kevin King, Montravius Adams. You can go through a whole list of different players. Is there anybody that you think this team cannot do without?
Well, other than Aaron Rodgers, who's not available. Boy, I mean, Aaron Jones, I really want to bring him back. I know it really looks...
You got Mercedes Lewis, Lane Taylor, Montravius Adams.
Rodgers likes Lewis. Who else?
Will Redmond, Robert Tonyan, Alan Lazard.
Tonyan you got to bring back.
So you got all these guys.
Lazard, Rodgers loves him too.
Yeah, and you got all these guys that are, good role players. And that's okay. We're on a podcast. If you want to yell for the waitress and server, the bartender, she's got things going on. She'll bring you something. What do you need?
Well, I'm not going to hurry her because she's pregnant. So I'm not going to. She's got enough problems.
Yeah, right.
Not problems, but she's
working.
She's working. She's carrying around a baby. So.
No doubt.
I have a question about LaFleur, Bill. Matt LaFleur, and because I know we've all been excited about the guy, but so far 2 regular seasons, he's blown through the regular season and crashed in the championship round. Now, I think the question remains, is he a championship level coach, LaFleur? I think that's the million. What do you think of that?
I cannot still fathom why he kicked a field goal.
Oh,
I mean, I know that there's an analytics chart to it, but you at that point in time, at that point in the game, with that time remaining, you throw the analytics chart away. It never made sense to me. It didn't make sense to the announcers. It didn't make sense to radio. It didn't make sense. Anybody that watched that game, it didn't make sense to other players. That reminded me of go back to the infamous 4th and 26 in Philadelphia. Favre and company are down there. Mike Sherman takes them there. And Mike Sherman gives this big speech ahead of the game that says, we are going to ride our offensive line. We can run the ball against anybody. We're going to ride you guys. And then they get to 4th and 1 on the goal line. And he kicks a field goal. And the discussion by some of the guys coming out of that locker room at that time was, he told us one thing and he did another. And it was like at that point in time, he began to lose the team. And for LaFleur, on that particular 4th and 8, knowing you needed it and knowing that your defense has given up. Now, again, they've had some turnovers, but your defense has given up points almost all day long. If they didn't get the turnover, they were giving up points. So if you're giving up points, why are you taking the ball out of Aaron Rodgers' hands? Why would you do that? And the excuse was, well, we did, no. There's a reason you took it out of his hands, and I'd love to know why.
And why would you give Tom Brady another opportunity?
Right.
Tom Brady. I don't care if Tom Brady's playing boxing gloves on. You don't give that guy another opportunity.
He just figures out ways to win.
He does. And, even that the pass interference call on King there, I didn't even like the play call. I mean, Brady, I don't know. I like something better as a play call, better than that. Brady kind of got lucky on that call that King was grabbing the shirt tail. But I did not like the call there. But when you're going trying to win championships, I think there's a certain amount of things. You got to roll the dice. Tampa rolled the dice beginning toward the end of the second quarter before half when they went for the 4th and 3. Right. They rolled the dice, and it paid off. McCarthy, in 2014, the NFC Championship game in Seattle, he kicked 2 field goals inside the 5-yard line. What was that about?
Right.
And it came back. I said it. I put it on Twitter. I said, this is going to come back to bite him. And people came at me and say, no, you need the points. You need the points. No, we need touchdowns in the championship round.
Yep. I do like Jason. Jason said this is the first sports-related show he's watched or listened to since Sunday. Still disappointing. Wisconsin sports has been so rough on the emotions over the last 10 years. That I would agree with. And the other one by Kevin that says, do you think they'll get J.J. Watt or try to get Watt? Now, Watt has talked about obviously getting out of.
We're in Watt territory out here.
Yeah, this is where the Watts have hung. Sitting out here in the Pewaukee area. So it's a topical conversation. But J.J. Watt obviously wants a championship.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it would take to get him here, but if it was on the cheap, and obviously he is motivated to win a championship, 1, 2 year, whatever it happens to be, I wouldn't mind bringing JJ in.
Oh, absolutely.
You're talking about a hard worker and
Sure.
a tenacious guy playing for his hometown team. Well, you talk about a storybook. Aaron Rodgers going out, Watt going out, because he's been riddled with injuries throughout his career.
Well, that's the one problem.
You get a couple of those veterans in here that just are salivating for a championship. Maybe that rises the tide a little bit.
The injury that you mentioned there, Bill, I think that's the one problem. It's like if you get JJ in here, how healthy is he going to be?
Right.
I mean, he's a great player.
Yeah.
Hall of Fame player. No doubt about that.
Well, maybe he's out there on Pewaukee Lake chasing dog sleds or something like that right now, working out.
Drilling a hole?
Pushing sleds around.
Have you ever ice fished?
I have been taking ice fishing up here in Wisconsin one time.
I don't like it.
I'm not a fan.
I like fishing. So anybody ever
Love fishing.
Take us out on the lake fishing? Yes, but ice fishing? Man, last time I went, my uncle back in the 70s, it was just too cold.
It was maybe 2001, 2002. And remember, I was huge then. I was like 400-something pounds then.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was kind of dangerous ice fishing.
Oh, geez, yeah. You go through you wouldn't go through the hole. You might create a hole.
Yeah.
Create a boulder out there. Yeah, they had to keep you off the ice back then. Now you're svelte. You're working out every day.
Now the shirts are big and the whole deal. So we'll move on from the Packers and get into the second thing that I wanted to discuss. By the way, the program being brought to you by our good friends, not only at Bud Light, but then our friends over there at Bud Light Seltzer as well. So thanks to them for being a part of the program. Thanks to Bud Light Seltzer. Thanks to our friends at Bud Light. And always great to work with them in so many different facets. Bud Light, by the way, they're doing the making lemonade out of lemons. Their new commercial is for a lemonade seltzer. So they had the lemon lime. Now they're doing the lemonade.
We did this on Thursday nights on the station that we were at. You did it every Thursday night during football season. I joined you probably every month or so. Come on. And I always said doing a show with you, Bill, is like there's certain guys doing a show is like a walk in the park. I can get out. I don't even have to prepare. You and I could just sit here and BS for
you're good to go.
3 or 4. Yeah, bring an appetite.
Bring an appetite. You're good to go.
It's just that you've always made doing a show, and I told this to Shannon earlier today. I said, we're doing a show with Bill. I mean, that's you know what you're going to get. It's going to make it really easy on you. It's an easy payday.
Cake schmack. Also, we got to say thanks to our friends over at Quick Trip. Don't forget, open your Quick Trip, swipe your Quick Rewards card, and whether it's the pothole pizzas, the fried chicken, the hot sandwiches, the cold sandwiches, the salads, whatever it happens to be, they've got a lot of great things over at Quick Trip. So thanks for supporting Quick Trip, a hometown team as well. What are you going to call Miller Park for the rest of your life?
Oh yeah. And AmFam, from what I understand, I'm reading that they're getting some heat because. It's not, no, Miller didn't want to be a part of it, and AmFam took over. There's no criticism here.
Anybody that's upset with American Family for buying the rights to that is an idiot.
I mean, appreciate them for stepping up.
There's somebody that's saying we've got millions of dollars to put it behind our hometown team.
Yeah, and make sure we get cheaper rates along the way. Don't not the risk of us getting bad rates. But no, I don't have any problem with that. But it's going to be a while. I'm not a big fan of these ballparks, like in Chicago. Chicago, whatever it's called these days.
Now it's something rate field.
Yeah, to me it's always Comiskey. Cincinnati, it's not Riverfront.
It's Great
Stadium,
American,
but it was
Synergy. It was Riverfront, then it became Synergy, and now it's Great American Ballpark by Great American Insurance.
AmFam, that's not going to be the last name.
There's PNC.
PNC, yeah.
PNC was the other one.
But AmFam, we'll be calling it in 20 whenever this expires. We'll be calling it something else. 20 years from now.
20 years.
That's going to happen, but Fiserv for them too.
Yeah.
Fiserv down the line, I don't know what the naming right situation, we'll be calling it something else.
That's a 15 or 20 year deal?
Something like that. I would think that
so Fiserv will be around a while, but
you got to change all the logos and all that. But I just like the original name of a place like Comiskey Park in Chicago will always be Comiskey.
Right. Wrigley Field, they're never going to change that. Lambeau Field, they'll never change that.
No. I was always wondering, do you think they'd ever put a tag on it just to get some more money, something at Lambeau Field?
I can't imagine them doing that.
Yeah.
I not without major backlash.
Yeah.
But people and I got a lot of this today. I posted something over on the
Bradley
Facebook
Center.
page.
I mean, it was Bradley Center, then it became BMO Harris Bradley Center.
Right. It was the Bradleys who donated the building, and part of it was that their name would always be on the side of it, so they couldn't change the name, so they just added it. I can't see them ever doing a Verizon at Lambeau Field, or I can't see that. That's too awkward.
But these sports teams are always looking for a way to bring money in.
Yeah,
and
they've got the gates. They've got the Farm and Fleet gate, the Quick Trip gate, the Verizon gate. I mean, they got the gates. So,
what would you call Miller Park? Is it always going to be Miller Park to you too?
No, it's going to be American fan. I look at it as, and I don't like it that it changes, but I like the fact that this is the smallest, when it comes to media money, the smallest team in all of baseball. And they've got somebody willing to step up and go, we're going to give you millions. And unless they had other ventures or Miller wanted to retain the rights, that's one thing. But they were the ones that stepped up and said, we'll do it.
AmFam's done some great things for sports. I mean, they sponsor the Champions Tour in Madison. I mean, awesome for that. That we're able to have a golf tour every summer when we're, not wearing masks. And there shouldn't be any criticism.
I keep waiting for Acuity to build their own stadium up there on 43.
Oh God, yeah.
With the world's tallest
flag,
and like holy mackerel! You talk, people get mad at American Family Insurance. They're like, well, that's why they're raising our rates. It's like, well, have you ever seen the monstrosity that they have for Acuity Insurance?
Unbelievable, right off the freeway there. Yeah,
you can't miss it. If this doesn't work out, I'm going to go work for them.
Yeah,
because they got to be making money hand over fist. The artwork, I saw them on a PBS special. I think it was John McGivern did the, my hometown or whatever it is around the corner.
Which I heard is going away.
Which is going away.
That's a shame. That's a great show.
I just can't believe it. Yeah. But they did something on the glass and artwork inside the Acuity buildings. It's like millions of dollars for these sculptures. And it's beautiful. Yeah. I mean, we drive past it coming home from Packers games in the middle of the night, and it's glowing, and it's really cool. But it's like, wow.
Yeah. I always say, though, not at the risk of the customers, the customer should always come first.
Correct.
Customers, always put the customer first. And, all the bells and whistles, let that at the end of the day, they're dishing out insurance for us. I don't care how the interior of the bit, they could be in a box. I just want the good rates.
It's recognition for the company. Yeah. It keeps the team viable with some additional money, and we're talking about a year in which they didn't really make anything. As a matter of fact, they lost a lot of money. So it was a hell of a way for Miller to go out. You talk about the end of an era for Miller Park, but it is what it is. And look, it took a long time for people to call it the Miller Park because they still wanted to call it County Stadium.
I miss going to games still. I got something in the email the other day about purchasing my partial season ticket package, and I don't want to send that money in, and all of a sudden, we're not going to have any more baseball, and then they got my money.
Right.
A couple of $1,000s there, but I want to look forward to going back to the games and sitting in the stands and all that. I didn't go to opening. I think in the media we're allowed to cover the games, but it's not the same without the fans. I've said that.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And hopefully they start allowing fans.
Yeah.
We haven't heard anything, right?
No. I heard there's rumblings that spring training is going to push back a little bit. So if that's the case, I wonder if they're going to be starting the season in May. I don't know.
Well, baseball wants to push spring training back. The Players Association doesn't. So
too much spring training. None of the players want to be there.
Yeah.
In a couple of weeks anyway.
Yeah, no doubt about it. The other thing is, going back to County Stadium, we obviously had found out about Hank Aaron's passing. On Tuesday, he was eulogized and memorialized. Bud Selig giving a whale of a speech. But you worked around here a long time. How many times you have a good Hank Aaron story?
Went to his last game.
Really? Okay.
9 years old. September 1976. And my dad we went the day before, Saturday afternoon game. Then went to Sunday. My dad somehow got box seats, so we went to the game. Aaron's last game, 6,000 people. They played the Detroit Tigers. I think Mark the Bird Fidrich might have been pitching. He either pitched that day or the day before. You remember the Bird?
Yeah.
So Aaron gets a base hit in his final at bat and gets a standing ovation as Gantner comes and pitch runs for him. But at the time, he didn't think, God, only 6,000 for Aaron's last game. But in retrospect, if Aaron's playing his last game, no matter how the Brewers are terrible, no matter how bad the Brewers are, if an icon like that is playing his last game, full house. Right. Now, they did a salute to Aaron a few weeks earlier where all the dignitaries were coming in and Mickey Mantle was in and all that, and they filled the place. But still, his last game.
Right.
So I was at his last game.
Yeah.
But, it's funny. I saw Aaron. It was 1975 and 76. Boy, 42 looked old back then.
Yeah.
I mean, you see pictures of him.
Oh, I know.
God,
I know.
I mean,
compared to what he was when they showed the pictures of him playing with the Milwaukee Braves and early on with the Atlanta Braves.
But I mean, look at a 42-year-old man today. Look at Tom Brady, 43,
Right.
and you look at somebody 40. I forgot who the picture they showed Rodgers, or they showed Brady on TV the other day, 43 years old against a quarterback, I think for the Raiders, who played at the age of 43, and they're the same age, and the quarterback of the 70s looked like he would have been Brady's dad.
I pulled out. It's funny because I pulled out a picture yesterday. As a matter of fact, I had some shoulder injury and I've been going to therapy for it. And I pulled out because they were talking about a young Aaron Rodgers and how he looks now. And I pulled out a picture and I said, "This was Aaron Rodgers' rookie year. We took him to go see Jimmy Buffett, and he looks like he's 12 years old." It's like,
really?
Oh my God!
Well, I saw the Super Bowl picture of him the other day, and the 10 years ago, man, how much he's aged.
Yeah, he's
he's got the long hair. I saw he's got long hair now.
Yeah, now he kind of, I don't know, he's got kind of a funky Grizzly Adams meets the Beatles thing going on.
I think it's a different day, different whatever he wakes up with.
When he took his helmet off on the sideline and his hair was batted down and just like that.
I saw
the first thing I thought of was he looks like a kid out of grunge.
He did.
Out of the grunge era, about
Seattle,
mid-90s, a little bit of Nirvana going on, things like that. By the way, we're broadcasting live out here at Curly's Waterfront Pub and Grill. Thanks to Ryan and everybody because they're terrific out here. If you're looking for a really good fish fry, great place to watch a game. They do meat raffles. They have all kinds of events right there. You can just kind of see it. It's Curly's Waterfront Pub and Grill. That's Curly's Waterfront Pub and Grill. And for the full menu and everything they have to offer, go to curlyswaterfrontpub.com. That's curlyswaterfrontpub.com. Here with our special guest Chuck Freeman. This is brought to you by also many different people. Our good friend Sloppy Joe's out there in Hubertus. Joe and Ellen Hennis, great people. Go say hi to them. Dan Della and the whole group over at the Social House on Lisbon. Out in Menominee Falls. Obviously, Stoley's Hog Alley, they're great people. Jeff and Alicia, and they got the new Stoles, Old Stole 109 out there as well. We saw him when he stopped by and said hello to Wisconsin Harley-Davidson. Also, our friends from Wisconsin Harley-Davidson. We've got a whole list of sponsors, and continue to support all those people as well as they continue to support the program. Don't forget our friends at Quick Trip right there, and then obviously our friends at Bud Light. Go to budlight.com for all the information. Sitting here talking with Chuck Freeman. So, we talked a little Brewers, talked a little bit about the Green Bay Packers as well, the name change. But let's talk about the team and the season because the whole Justin Turner rumor floating around out there that they may be a player for. I mean, granted, I think they need to upgrade their third base and first base position. This would be a huge upgrade.
Yeah,
if they picked him up.
What they went in the third base spot last year was Sogard playing third and leading off.
It was a hope and a prayer.
It sure was. I don't know what they were expecting. But a prayer probably. I mean, you got to do better than that. And if they're going to, you got to. But I'm worried about the payroll. I mean, I'm worried about this team. I'm worried about the organization, Bill, because we've heard Stern say they're going to take a step back financially this year, and then taking a step back financially. We don't want to hear that as fans because that means that the ball club might not be as good. So, are they going to? What are they going to? What kind of team are they going to field? I don't know. I don't have any. I don't have really high expectations for this year's team. Now they may surprise me, but they made the playoffs last year because of playoff expansion. They finished with a below 500 record, but I mean I can see them going on that same road again this year.
By the way, I gotta stop for a minute. The last comment on the bottom, our buddy Scotty from Cincinnati.
Oh yes,
said it's great listening to you guys do this show together. He said it reminds me of all of us standing in the tee box talking and getting ready to shank one in the woods. We did a lot of that.
Scott does a lot of that.
So Scott does a lot of that.
But number one, he's fun to play with.
Yes. We had a couple of golf teams that were pretty epic. We played well, and then when if golf were a 14-hole sport, we'd have kicked ass in so many different tournaments. Because we would have 14 holes that were worth something, and then 4 holes that would turn to crap.
Sure. Well, we were always there playing, but we just, we'd always lose to a team that got a bunch of ringers.
Yeah.
But you, I, Scotty, and a few other guys played.
It was me, you, Scotty, our buddy Ryan, Ryan Elliott, our former engineer over at WTMJ from years back, and Ryan's a great guy. Joe Zinzola would play with us. We had decent teams. You know, we put some decent stuff together.
You put some 90-foot putts in couple of those tournaments.
It's all about putting.
Yeah,
it's all about you get one decent drive. Your second shot's got to be close, or at least within reason, and get a few long putts and a couple pieces of luck, and I think the best we ever did was like 11 under, 9 under, 10
Lombardo.
Under, at the Greater Lombardo Open.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have that.
There was no Lombardo Open.
There was no Lombardo Open this year. I mean,
God, 2020 just sucked.
The best part of the pandemic, though, was being able to play golf every day, because that's the one sport. That's the one time you could get away from everything. You can go on the golf course, and you don't have to worry about wearing masks. You don't think about it. Got the music going on there, and you're playing. But a lot of the outings, unfortunately, got called off because of that. But I thought golf. I mean, my golf game was as good as it's ever been. Committed a lot of time because I wasn't working every day. Hopefully, that's going to change here in the future. But yeah, it's just the pandemic has ruined. We're coming up on a year of that. It's hard to believe.
I know, right? I'm trying to get it to where because we had some really good music on the golf course, and so I got to play this just because I know Scotty's listening. And we would have Buckwheat Zydeco going.
Yeah,
this was on the golf course. Kind of just jamming out on the golf course.
You had your music. I had my 80s stuff going on.
You had REO Speedwagon and Def Leppard, and it kind of ended up all merging together. But yeah, it was fun.
It was fun. I mean, we didn't win those, but that was always fun playing you guys. I mean, it was that Monday, or we played in a few things together. Yeah, that's always it's always fun. Whether
we went out to Western Lakes, we played at Iron. By the way, and it's a somber note, but our buddy Mike Lehman. From Ironwood Golf Course. Yeah. Mike's daughter was killed a couple of nights ago. So in a car accident. So our condolences go out to Mike. And I know they're doing a service out at Arrowhead coming up on Sunday. But just a wrong way driver, and I just found out about it. Just a tragic thing. And I feel for Mike and the entire staff out there, and his beautiful wife and their kids. So
wrong way driver.
We
got to do something about that.
So no doubt. Yeah. So anyway, getting back into some of the things that so you're kind of just doing some things at 97.3, filling in.
I'm not. There's not as much vacation time right now, so I'm not filling in as much as I was. I mean, when I first got there, I was filling in all the time and doing stuff. And I'm available, guys. I mean, geez,
well, maybe we'll do a few more of these.
Yeah.
Get out and about.
I enjoyed that. I enjoy working there. I just want to be
Thursday
doing there a little more.
We're going to be next Thursday. We're going to be at Stenny's.
Oh, Stenny's is always a good place.
So if you're hungry for a noon broadcast at Stenny's,
you and I've been there a few times.
Yeah. Non-show.
Yeah, non-show. Absolutely.
We watched. Were you down there when we watched the Final Four?
I was at the Final Four.
Okay, you were at the Final Four
with Wisconsin.
Yeah,
I was there because the picture came up on Facebook the other day. And I showed Shannon. I said, "Well, I'm not in this picture." She goes, "How come you're not in this picture?" I said, "Well, I was at the game."
You were at the game, yeah. We ended up. That was quite the party down there. That was when you talk about going to bars, because I know you went, so we had it covered, and I just thought, you know what, I'm going to go enjoy this as kind of a fan.
Yeah.
And that was elbow to elbow, shoulder to shoulder. And now we had a table that we were all sitting at, but it was just people crammed in. And when they hit that final shot and beat Kentucky. Oh my God! You talk about an eruption, just a pure, joyous eruption. It was just I hadn't been a part of anything like that since I was standing on the floor at AT&T Stadium when the final countdown hit for the Packers to win the Super Bowl, and the confetti was going off, and the fans are going nuts because that's when the Pittsburgh fans had left, and then all the Packers fans started coming down, and it was just, man, it to this day gives me goosebumps. It was just such a neat thing.
Yeah, when they beat Kentucky in that Saturday game, because they lost a heartbreaker in 2014 to them, and that was I felt as bad as I've ever felt about what our sports teams, when Harrison hits the shot for Kentucky, the three-pointer, and I was thinking, the Badgers are never going to get back to the Final Four, and they did. I mean, it's tough to do, but a lot of tough games the year after in the whole tournament, and they got back, and then they lost to Duke. But beating Kentucky, who was considered people were saying this is the greatest team of all time, and I said Wisconsin's still better than these guys. They were saying on the show, Wisconsin. And, they'd beat those guys up by 9 in the second half against Duke and couldn't close it out. But, hey, that's the tale of our sports teams here in the last I thought it was Fox 11 up in Green Bay. He detailed from 2011 to now all the heartbreaks that we've either had in Final Fours or championship rounds.
Right.
And there's been a ton of them.
Yeah.
can't knock the door down.
Yeah,
since Super Bowl
Wisconsin in the Big Ten championship has run into the buzzsaw that is Ohio State. The Packers have run into on 4 separate occasions, and really they've won the Super Bowl. But even prior to that, right before that is when Brett Favre left, and that was an NFC Championship game at Lambeau Field. They didn't win that one. You had the Brewers in the postseason, the Bucks in Eastern Conference Finals. We've seen it all, man.
Yeah. How about this? Brent says, "Come up to Eau Claire." I was just in Eau Claire a couple of weeks ago. I love Eau Claire.
I love that area. I love Eau Claire, and then I love in the summertime. I take my bike and I go riding up the old Abe Trail up in Chippewa Falls.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's especially in the summertime. I was there a few weeks ago up
Wild Ridge Golf Course. Man.
Wild Ridge Golf Course. I mean, Wild Ridge is a fantastic golf course. Play there at least a couple of times this summer. But come to Eau Claire. I'm in on that one.
I'm in on that. Plus, they've got Ray's. Ray's is they've got Ray. Well, there's Pizza Del Rey, where I go to all the time, and then there's Ray's who make the hot horseradish sandwiches, the roast beef.
Where's
and
that?
The ham. Ray, I have to look it up. They usually bring it to me, but
okay.
Ray's is always come out, and I haven't yet to get down there. This is the year I'm going to go to Ray's.
We went to Pizza Del Rey's last summer. Good stuff. I mean,
they're great
inside.
Now, was the buffet open?
Yeah, it was this Friday night.
It's a funny thing is because COVID is like severe in Milwaukee.
It was a year ago Friday.
Okay, a year ago Friday.
A year ago, July.
Okay.
This is before COVID hit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, because you go to some parts of the state and it's like,
no, I know.
It's like nothing.
I went to late night to watch the UFC fight the other night. And we were looking for a bar and we went to a place and wall to wall people.
Really?
When a guest.
Yeah.
And especially up north. Yeah. There's certain places where people are wearing masks, but there's other places where, it's free. It's a free world.
We had the ugly sweater party at the house prior to Christmas.
Yeah, I couldn't go in.
And it turned into we've all had it, so we're partying anyway.
Sure.
It was like everybody was there and already had it in one way, shape, or form.
We were just talking about we haven't been to, and you got the Super Bowl party coming up, and you haven't been to a good old Bill Michaels party because you got all the good food there.
Come to the Super Bowl party?
Well, I got my kid. Your party is every other weekend. I got my kid, and it's been
those
that's
weekends.
The way it's been. Yeah. Yes, because of now in the years past, I haven't had that problem, that conflict, but because of leap year, the weeks flipped, and now I got my kid, and every time you have the party.
Well, we'll have to kind of schedule it out because the summer one will be here before we know it, and then we'll have the tiki bar.
The Super Bowl parties you always have are always great. And, the ugly sweater parties and all that.
The Super Bowl party this year is going to be different because I'm kind of co-hosting it with a friend of mine, and he is a master griller and smoker, and my buddy Craig, who runs Wisconsin Harley Davidson. So he's really into the Traeger grills, and he'll start smoking pork shoulders and stuff like 3 days in advance,
Oh, wow.
And I mean, it's just fall apart off the bone, sticking on a sandwich, it's great. So he's doing that. I'm doing the infamous ribs on a stick.
Okay.
From our buddy Paul Roberts down there at Roberts Specialty.
Still a good sponsor of mine.
Which is another huge place to go in Waukesha. And then in addition to that, we're doing the spaghetti and meatballs.
Oh, the spaghetti and Bill's big balls are like this. They're like this. They're good. I don't know what the recipe is, but don't ask, don't tell.
That'll make you
just eat them.
That'll make you do funny stuff to farm animals. They're that good. Yeah, no doubt about it. Sitting here talking with Chuck Freeman, broadcasting live out here at Curly's Waterfront Pub and Grill. We are right on Pewaukee Lake. If you want to stop by and say hello. He's grabbing a Diet Coke as we speak.
I couldn't flag her down. I tried to flag her down a few times.
But if you want to come out and say hello, great. We're going to be in another 20 minutes or so. And if not, this is a tremendous place to come out, whether it's a Friday night fish fry or just come out and enjoy some music and such during the weekend as well.
Have you been doing anything? You and I haven't seen a show in a year, but how's it been for you?
I have been out almost every weekend.
Okay.
Yeah, I joined a private cigar club, so I do that. I was just down last weekend down in Nice Ash. Speaking of that, down in Waukesha.
You and I have been there before. Yeah.
Yep, we've been down
Somebody
there.
associated died within a customer.
No, it was the owner.
The owner.
Jeff, the owner, had passed away a couple of years ago.
Was that COVID?
No, this was prior to COVID.
Okay.
No, he had passed away.
Or a customer from there, because we went there and there was a customer, a listener came up to you, and I saw on Facebook where he passed away.
Oh, you know what? There was a regular down there. He was there a lot. As a matter of fact, he worked there as well. He had worked there.
You know what I'm talking about?
Chuck. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Chuck. Yeah. Chuck was down there, and Chuck had passed away. And he went downhill fast. So, but yeah, he had just passed. But between I've been to Stenny's, I've been to Shaker's Bar and Grill. As a matter of fact, I saw our buddy Carmelo and the gang out in the Calderon Club, North Shore, out in Fox Point. Been down to Gino's a couple of times and down to San Giorgio for the pizzas. And
Calderon, that's the last time, because you and I went to the bar, the Q Club, but we were at Calderon Club earlier that night.
Yeah,
because we were supposed to go to REO Speedwagon that night.
Yeah,
and REO was called off because of the pandemic.
That was right when it hit.
Mm-hmm.
It was because I was I was out in Arizona, and that's when everything started shutting down.
Mm-hmm.
And the next week was when we were supposed to go to REO Speedwagon because the Admirals. And by the way, the Admirals. You talk about the Admirals got screwed too.
Sure,
because they were on their way to win a Calder Cup.
Yeah,
best record in the AHL, and they were kicking everybody's ass.
And plus, they were doing a big house there. I mean, that was a big house that for REO. I read I saw an interview with Kevin Cronin from REO, and he was talking about that he, their last concert was in Minnesota, and they were going to Milwaukee the next day, and they said no concert, and then they haven't performed since.
Right, nobody.
But his next concert was supposed to be the Milwaukee Arena.
And you saw that Pride Fest down in the Milwaukee Lakefront, down at the Summerfest grounds, has now said we're not going to do it in 2021. So the question then becomes, with all of these bands, with the uncertainty as to whether or not they can go on the road, are they already booked and they're just waiting to see if Summerfest is going to open? Because what if we go through another summer with? Because I was just when we did our first podcast at Milwaukee Brewing, Kathleen O'Leary, who's the director of the Wisconsin State Fair, was there, and I was talking to her, and I said, "So," and she said, "We're preparing like we're having it. That's all we can do.
We got to have Summerfest,
And can you imagine no Summerfest and no State Fair and such again this year?
Well, here's the thing: is guys, our age, we like to do stuff like that, and not
everybody likes.
But but I mean, I was like. You don't want to rip it's like Rodgers ripping another year off the calendar. You don't want to, of his career. It's another ripping off another year of us not being able to do things. State Fair, Summerfest. We got some great things. Concerts. I haven't been to a concert since a year ago, this January.
Right.
So I want to get back to, we all do. We all do. I just don't know when it's going to happen.
Well, hopefully they say the vaccine will be fully distributed to many, many, many people in the state of Wisconsin, almost 3 million by August, I think. So
Shannon's got hers. She's a healthcare worker. Yeah, so she's got hers.
My dad just got his. He's 85.
Okay.
So he got his.
Good.
I've already had COVID. I kind of feel like I've got a superpower now. So.
You had it in the summer, right?
Yeah, I had it over the summer. But here's the thing: is I think we actually got it when we were at Super Bowl.
Wow.
When we were coming out of Super Bowl, when I was coming out of Super Bowl, Clemens was with me, and we're sitting there, and 3 plane loads of people arrived back to back to back while we waited from China that were coming into Miami.
Okay.
Miami's a big international hub. And Mike looked at me and said, wouldn't it be funny if we got that COVID thing?
Oh.
And then the one thing I noticed when I went to spring training was when I was out there, because you love the food out there. I hooked you up with that
Mexican
restaurant out there. I went there and I didn't taste it. Yeah. And I'm like, this is weird. It just didn't taste right. It was just, it was like nothing. And then they say, sure enough, that's one of the signs you have. So and then when I went and got tested, I didn't feel bad.
Yeah. But
I said, hey, I had kind of just a runny nose and such. And they said, well, let's go get tested. And then sure enough, that's what it was.
Well, for the final month of my being at the WSSP, I was doing the show from home.
Yeah.
I was doing the show from home, and Bart was doing it from his house, and we were doing it away from each other. And, I haven't, 97.3, we're going to the studio. We're socially distancing there and all that. But, I remember coming back right before we went out, end of February, coming back from Denver, and I got on the plane, and there were a couple people wearing masks. I'm like, why are people wearing masks? But the news started to pick up about the corona, and then
Well, I was saying Tuesday's broadcast, because that was the same day that Kobe Bryant had passed.
Yep.
And we were standing in line, and I told this story, so if you heard it already, I apologize. But we were standing in line at security to go into the convention center in Miami, and you know how it is with the media's on one side. All the people, the volunteers and everybody wanted them to get to a tender on the other. So all the media is going in because we have to get our bags scanned and the dogs sniff everything to make sure we're not bringing anything that would be explosive. Anyway, long story short, you could start to hear the line talk, oh my God, oh my God. Oh, and you could see people crying. And I'm like, what? and that was the passing of Kobe Bryant. So the next day you get up and you look at the paper and you can't wait to read it because you want to read all about what happened and you want to find out the details. And this little blurb off to the side was in Wuhan, China, there was an outbreak of a COVID-19 and they're trying, and Clemens.
I heard you mention on your podcast yesterday.
Clemens said to me at that time, we were talking about the Kobe thing, and he said, "Hey, look at this." And he said, "That's coming." And I don't know how Mike knows this thing. Mike's like a crazy savant. Mike knows this stuff. But.
I thought I was doing the show with Bart, and Bart started to get crazy about it a little bit. This was like in January or February.
Yeah. Well, the end of January, beginning of February is when it really started.
And he said, "This thing's going to." I'll hand it to him, man. He said, "This thing's going to cancel sports." And I was like, "Come on," And he was no. I thought he was giving a big overreaction. But I have to hand it to him. He was ahead of the curve on that.
Yep, no doubt. Before we get out of here, we got about 10 minutes to go before we take off. So, obviously, the Packers now in regroup mode. So who you got in the Super Bowl as we start to look forward to matchups? Because this actually, the storyline for this with Brady going to a new team, being as old as he is, that's a dream scenario for that side of the coin. The other side is it's been a while since we've seen teams repeat in the Super Bowl. It just doesn't happen very often. And Andy Reid, for so long, couldn't attain a Super Bowl, finally gets one, and now he's back again, and he's kind of morphed himself into this more off with him and his offensive coordinator, morphed into this offensive guru.
Bieniemy?
Eric Bieniemy, and I keep forgetting that. He was a running back for the Cincinnati Bengals years and years ago.
Nebraska, too.
Yeah, and they've morphed into something a little bit different to kind of really fit what it is Patrick Mahomes does. Two great storylines coming into this one.
Yeah. I haven't liked the way Kansas City has played. And when they got behind 10-0 this past Sunday, I was like, man, something happened this season. They had a few injuries or whatever, but they just didn't look like the same bunch. I know they went 14-2, but they weren't covering the spread. They were just, I don't know, they were just getting by in some of these games. And they turned it on. And I think that's the real Kansas City team we saw. Brady's a tough guy to bet against, but I'm going to go to 3.5 at Kansas City right now. Yeah.
I just look back and I go back to my own philosophy. I said, what did they do in the regular season? Kansas City beat the hell out of Tampa Bay earlier this year. They couldn't get to Patrick Mahomes. He got really quick release. He got rid of the football. They were throwing the ball downfield.
Thanksgiving weekend. Yep, that was the most impressive win.
And I can't get past that. I maybe defensively though, Todd Bowles will come up with something different, but they couldn't get to him. And part of the way they beat New Orleans, the way they beat the Packers was put pressure on the quarterback, force a mistake, hit hard, and force a mistake. And that's what they did with Aaron Jones. And that's the way they win. But if they don't get turnovers, and Patrick Mahomes is not a turnover-prone type of guy, I don't see them beating Kansas City.
But Kansas City's got such great speed on the perimeter.
But they're also missing both starting tackles.
Yeah.
So the tackles aren't going to be playing in this one.
They got such speed on the perimeter, and it's just I think Kansas City is still the team. I think only Tampa could win. I thought Green Bay could have beat Kansas City. I think Tampa could beat Kansas City. It's gonna be. I'm just picking. It's a 3.5 point spread. My lean would be towards Kansas City to win this game. And I think maybe like a high-scoring game between these two teams.
Is this, and I have to admit, my girlfriend Kristen, who's probably watching this right now, she's from the East Coast. She grew up in the New England area.
Oh, she's from Boston?
Yeah, she's from that area.
Okay.
So she is, while she's still a Patriots fan, huge Brady fan. So when I said, she was like adamant about about Brady winning that game. She was rooting. She was in a bar rooting for Brady,
with you?
With me.
Oh, Bill.
So
did you make her sit at a different table?
So, no, I let her have her moment. It's like,
did you make her take a different ride home? No?
But it was, and then she explained, she said, look, for years, people said he was a cheater. It was Deflategate, then it was Spygate, and it was the videos and going into Cincinnati and videotaping, and it was always cheating. And I said, well, those people are really kind of closed-minded in a sense, because I don't know how much difference that made. But now he's back. And because I had said, look, win or lose, he took that team to an NFC Championship game.
Sure.
Now he's put them in the Super Bowl. You talk about affirmation for what he is capable of doing. To say he brings Gronk, he brings Antonio Brown. Remember, he was the guy that was getting that team together during COVID when they weren't going to open anything up. He was taking them to high school fields to say, we are going to get better and we're going to win championships. I think there's an intangible there that Tom Brady has.
He professionalizes it, the organization. Tampa was going nowhere, and he came in and he set the tone. This is the way we need to do this, and that's a great example. What Brady did for Tampa is a great idea. What organizations need to do when you have someone there who can help set the tone. And I feel like there's a lot of people out there, a lot of businesses out there don't have that kind of guy. Brady went into that organization and said, "This is how we need to be. This is how we professionalize it. This is how we need to do hard work." Brady's 43 years old. He's doing the diet and all that.
He's outworking a lot of people that are younger than him.
You know what? He's outworking people. And I always believe that. You always outwork the competition. And it works smart too. But I feel like, Bill, people always want to downplay Brady. Tom Brady. All the rules are made. No, Tom Brady just goes out and works his ass off. 43 years old. He doesn't have to be playing football in 0-degree temperatures like he was last weekend.
Right.
He's got all the money in the world. But look at the guy went out there.
And his wife makes more money than he
does.
That's the amazing thing about
it. So no, I you don't have to like him, but
gotta respect the guy.
Don't downplay the guy.
No, completely agree. And again, we are brought to you by our friends at Quick Trip. Don't forget, stop into our friends at Quick Trip. Swipe your Quick Rewards card. Continue to support a local product that has grown exponentially here in our area. Broadcasting live here at Curly's Waterfront Pub and Grill
like old
out
times.
here in Pewaukee. Yeah, no doubt. And thanks to Wisconsin Harley-Davidson. Also, thanks to our friends all over Stenny's, our friends at over at Sloppy Joe's and such, Stoley's Hog Alley, which is not too far from here. And our friends at Nice Ash, speaking of Nice Ash, Joette and the whole staff do a great job down there. Thanks to them. And then our friend Sean and the gang at Epoxy Flooring Done Right. Go to epoxyflooringdoneright.com. That's epoxyflooringdoneright.com. And I'll get some more videos up of the work they did at my house because it was absolutely amazing. So as we wrap things up here in the next couple of minutes, so the game's coming up. Are you watching it at home or where are you watching it?
Oh, that's to be determined. I don't know. We got our kid, a 9-year-old, so we're not going to go anywhere. So probably just watch it at the bar. Well, we have.
Yeah.
We have gone to the bar and watched the game with him and throw darts and all that, and he hits on the millennial ladies out there. So we do that, but probably not Sunday night. We'll probably just watch it at home. Get some food, some Roberts.
Yeah.
Specialty meats.
Face first. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And we'll probably do some of that. And just what about you? You're going to your party.
I got the party at the house. And that was, people always said, because, I went to Super Bowl every year. I did, but what people didn't realize, I flew home on Saturday night.
You did.
I always got out of there. Mike was the guy that stayed and covered the game because Mike was with the teams all week and I was on Radio Row all week. So we would always fly in on a Saturday prior. And then Saturday night we would always go out. Last year, this time, we had walked South Beach. And we went up and down. We saw where Versace got shot. We went to the Clevelander. We went to all the different bars and pubs and just walked up and down and got some pictures and had I remember I had a margarita that was about that big and about that deep and it had like 5 straws in it.
Strawberry?
And yes.
Okay.
And the girl came over and she said, "This is for you or for everybody?" I said, "No, this is for me." So then Mike had his and Erica had her thing. Because last year we had that, we got really lucky. We got a penthouse apartment that overlooked all of downtown Miami. I don't know if you remember the videos from that, but oh my God.
No, I saw the pictures from the 2017 on Facebook the other day. And I saw you chatting on your show the other day that you said you want to go back next year. Now, my question is, do you think they're going to allow us to go back? Because not having a Radio Row this year, are they going to allow?
That's a great question.
You think we're going to be at a point where they're going to have that again?
A year out, a year from now, I hope to God they do. I hope we get back to normal. I wonder what things are going to be like covering games. Are we going to be in locker rooms? Because that's the thing is people have gotten used to this, but you're not. Teams now can protect information, just filter out. I've said it was for years. I've called the Packers Red China because they only want you to hear what they want you to hear. They don't tell you what's going on behind the scenes. That's where guys getting in a locker room and chatting with guys kind of came into play.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening. I don't think I would be surprised if we're ever allowed in the locker room again, and that teams just use this idea of, well, hey, you know what, we're not going to spread anything. We're going to keep the distance because they don't want it. I've always thought, well, if you're a player, why do you want us media people running around watching them naked and trying to interview them while they're getting dressed and getting out of the shower and all that? That's something about that. We get access and all that, but the teams, I think, are going to hide behind this, and we're going to continue to do the Zoom stuff. I don't like it.
I'm not a fan of this.
I don't like it.
Yeah, it's pretty filtered. And, I get that there's a couple of comments here or there that become somewhat controversial, and we get a chance to kind of chomp onto those when it comes to sports talk media. But the
not only the relationships of being out in the press box and running into your fellow colleagues and all that, and, you develop those relationships and you get those guys in your show and all that, and you get to become friends with everybody in the state and enemies with people you don't like, because there's a couple of those guys there too. But
you get a chance to talk about them.
You get the person, yes, yeah. I mean,
it's also being able, after the scrum leaves a particular player and you're talking to them, and you get a chance to be face to face. And one of the things I'll say this: we were in Atlanta a couple of years ago. They were playing the Rams. It was the Rams and the
Patriots.
2 years ago. So we're in Atlanta, and I'm walking around the floor. They're doing that's when they started the introduction night and everything. And there's the owner of the Atlanta Falcons, Arthur Blank, who was walking around, and I was talking to him, and we were talking about Home Depot, because that's what he owns. We were talking about Home Depot and how proud he was to have the stadium, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and how proud he was to have the city hosting this and such. And then I'm standing there, and a guy comes up and starts talking to me, nudges me. It's Sam Shields.
Okay.
But that's because we had a relationship being inside the locker room. I mean, had it been a Zoom call, he'd never know to walk over and say. So we did an interview with Sam Shields.
Yeah. I mean, and in our media business, so much of it is getting out and developing a relationship with all these people. So down the line, yes, you might need them or they might need you. And I feel like we've a year lost on that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Before we get out of here, again, I want to say thanks to Ryan and the whole staff over here at Curly's Waterfront Pub and Grill. And if you're out in this way at Pewaukee Lake, not only in the wintertime, but in the summertime as well, if you're going to do some ice fishing,
look at those nachos.
Yeah,
that's the nachos. Wow,
that's a whole heap of stuff right there.
My gosh,
that comes with a business card from Roto-Rooter. So that is big nachos. So if you're going to come out and do a little fishing, come on over here to Curly's Waterfront Pub and Grill. And if you're going to be out here in the summertime, there is no better place. We've had motorcycle rides and such that have come out here, and we just enjoyed the hell out of this place. So where are you off to now?
I'm going to go home and get a little workout in, and that's pretty much it for me this weekend.
For the end of the day?
Kind of thinking about maybe going to up the island. You remember the Island Casino up in Escanaba?
Yeah.
We got a free stay up there. We're thinking about going to, because they opened up a sports book out there.
Yep.
And thinking about going up there and checking that out. Now the problem is if you go with your significant other, that's the tough part, because I want to go to the sports book and I don't want to abandon her at all.
I don't mind walking in, checking out a few odds, placing a few bets, and heading out. I don't mind that.
But I mean, a sports book, because we went to a sports book in Hammond, Indiana, NBA All-Star Weekend last February, and we went over to Hammond, and I was in there hanging out. I'm like, man, I could be here all day. Right. But I think that's on the agenda. But she's got a friend up in Escanaba who she knows that she might
inside the sports book and inside the casino in Hammond. Not a bad place.
Mm-hmm.
How is Hammond? I've driven through Hammond, Indiana, and I thought,
I
hope I don't break down here.
I went right to the casino. I didn't see any of the town because we were staying in Chicago because the game was the next night. So we just drove there Saturday and spent some time. But it's like
you drive. I don't know if it's 80. I don't know what it is. It goes across the top when you go across the bridge coming out of Chicago. The bridge is like you got to fill out a credit app to go across. It's like $20 or something, and you get across. And what is it? The lumber yard is the little baseball park right there.
I think so. Yeah.
I see the lumber yard, and I think I think it's Kevlar vest night at the ball game. You know, is what they're giving out down there.
You have to. Well, this was like in the middle of winter, but. Yeah, it was a little snowing a little bit, but we went over there, and you get your first taste of the sports book, and I'm like, man, I hope we don't get any of these here in Wisconsin because that could be troublesome.
Right.
Yeah, I'll never go home.
So again, keep looking for the podcast. Follow me over on the YouTube channel. Subscribe. Find Bill Michaels. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Twitch as well. Over on Twitter at Bill_Michaels. They find you on Twitter where?
Yeah, Chuck Freeman. Chuck, FREIMUND. Although I went through a drive-through window the other day, and they asked me my name, and I said Chuck, and they said, how do you spell it? No, it wasn't drive-through. It was the face-to-face. Chuck. And she goes, how do you spell that? I go, you got to be kidding me. Spell it with a Q.
So there you go. It's always a pleasure. Good to talk to you again. You get to finish your sandwich and do your wrap. How is the buffalo chicken wrap?
Oh, fantastic. I mean, certain places, when you walk in, that it's going to be good. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what some of these bars do, but man, the bar food is fantastic. Nothing like a good bar burger too. Yep. I see they have the $5 burger basket here Monday through Friday.
Yep.
A bar burger. I mean, there's a bar burger. Give me a bar burger on a Saturday afternoon, beer and some sports going on, and we're good.
This is a quick look for those watching the end of the podcast. If you want to take a look at what we got going on out here, Curly's Waterfront Pub and Grill. A little bit snowy in the front, but when you walk through the door, tremendous place. Obviously, a ton of televisions to check it out. They've got tons of beers on tap, a lot of seating. Specifically, the pizzas are awesome out here. Good wings, as I had mentioned a little bit earlier. You've got the nachos, although those are different.
Yeah.
Those are potato skins more than anything. That's the fish fry.
Okay.
And then there's the giant pig porker burger. And they've got so much going on out here. You can stop in and look at the White Claw game. Now, I'm not a White Claw fan, but when the kids come in, they see that and they want to go grab something and you can't.
Yeah, White Claw at one of your parties a couple of years ago.
I will bring it there.
Somebody brought. You bring it in?
I will put it in the house.
Okay.
I'm just not the connoisseur of White Claw.
Yeah, I think it was at your
the Bud Light seltzers I've had.
Okay.
They're not bad.
Yeah, we've had those too.
But the view, obviously, looking out over the lake, and you can just see how high the ceilings are in this place and everything that they have to offer here.
Beautiful.
At Curly's Waterfront Pub and Grill. So stop in, say hello, and make sure you come by and see them because they're just really, really good people.
What's on tap for you?
So for me, I am going to, today I'm going to head back, do a few things work-wise, and I keep telling people, hang in there and wait. Ice Company. I started the Bill Michaels company, and I am close, we'll say, to some things.
Well, people say that you and I should be taking.
Yeah, I know. Well, we were reading the comments. You start reading all the comments. I mean, there's people there. Dakota obviously loves you. Saying hi to Chuck. Had the REO comment. John watching the program.
Yeah.
So plenty of people. Boy, I tell you what, if you start going through a lot of the comments, just a lot of people saying hi.
Yeah. It's
Chad saying hi to you.
It's what's best for business.
Greg saying hi. I mean, the comments. Just appreciate it. We had huge comments today, so it's been absolutely awesome. So anyway, thanks to everybody for watching. Pay attention, listen to it. You can obviously take it and download it, put it wherever you'd like to have it. But again, support our friends out here at Curly's Waterfront Pub and Grill, and that will do it. So thanks for joining us. We certainly appreciate it. For Chuck Freeman, I'm Bill Michaels. Have a great day. See ya.